When my daughter lied about our family vacation, I thought she'd ruined everything. But that one lie ended up saving my life, and costing me $90,000. What happened next completely changed the way I see freedom, family, and success. If you had told me a year ago that my daughter would lie to me about our family vacation, and that lie would eventually save my life, I would have laughed in disbelief. I'm Rebecca, 48 years old, living in suburban Ohio. I've worked the same corporate job for over 2 decades, climbing the ladder just enough to make 6 figures but not enough to breathe. Every day felt like a copy of the one before. Emails, meetings, endless reports, and the constant ping of my phone reminding me that I was always on call. My husband, Mark, worked long hours too, and our daughter, Emma, had just turned 22. She had recently graduated college and was trying to find her place in the world, though she always seemed one step ahead of me when it came to understanding what really mattered. Last spring, Emma came home for dinner one evening, her face glowing with excitement. "Mom, we should take a family vacation this summer," she said. "You never take time off, and we all need it." I laughed, shaking my head. "Honey, I can't just disappear for 2 weeks. You know my workload." But she persisted, showing me photos of beaches, villas, even mountain cabins. She said she'd found a great travel deal online. All-inclusive, good reviews, and a perfect spot in Colorado. She claimed her friend's family had stayed there last year. "Just trust me," she said, with that same charming confidence she used when she wanted something. Mark agreed instantly. Of course he did. He's always been the easygoing one. I gave in, though my mind buzzed with guilt about leaving work undone. Emma promised to handle all the bookings if I wired her the money. That's when the first lie happened. "Stay with me till the very end. You won't believe how it all turns out." And if you love real stories with unexpected twists and powerful life lessons, hit that subscribe button so you never miss the next one. The total cost, she said, was $9,000. Steep but doable. I transferred it to her account the next morning, telling myself it was worth it for family time. But what I didn't know then was that the resort she described didn't exist. Not the way she said anyway. A few weeks later we packed our suitcases and drove out. I noticed Emma seemed oddly nervous, checking her phone constantly. We passed through small towns, winding roads, until we reached a rustic cabin near Estes Park. Not a luxury resort, but quiet, surrounded by pine trees and mountains. "This is it?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. Emma smiled sheepishly. "Okay, maybe I exaggerated the part about the resort. But trust me, Mom, you're going to love it here." I wanted to be angry, but the air smelled like freedom. Crisp, clean, untouched by deadlines or alarms. That first night I sat on the porch with Mark, watching the stars. For the first time in years, my chest loosened. I didn't know it yet, but Emma's lie was about to unravel everything I thought I needed. My job, my security, even my idea of success. And when $90,000 suddenly disappeared from my life, I'd finally understand what she was trying to show me all along. The second morning at the cabin started quietly. The smell of pine mixed with coffee drifting from the kitchen. Mark was chopping wood outside, pretending to be some mountain man, and Emma was sitting on the porch steps scrolling through her phone. I joined her, mug in hand. "So," I said lightly, "when are we heading to that resort spa you mentioned? Don't skip, the ending will blow your mind. Stay till the end and hit subscribe for more stories like this." She froze for a second, then smiled awkwardly. "Yeah, about that. I kinda thought it would be good for us to disconnect for a bit. No Wi-Fi, no work calls. Just life." I sighed, taking a slow sip. "You lied about it being a resort." Her eyes softened. "Mom, you're always stressed. I figured if I told you the truth, you'd find an excuse not to come. You needed this." Stung, but she wasn't wrong. For years I'd hidden behind work. The long hours, the constant projects, they gave me structure but also chains. The days rolled by in that cabin. I cooked real meals instead of takeout. We hiked, read books, laughed around campfires. It felt strange at first, like I'd stepped out of my own life. But something in me started to shift, a quiet awareness that I'd built my world on pressure, not purpose. Then halfway through the week I got the email that shattered everything. It was from HR. You think you know where this story's going, but trust me, the ending will surprise you. Stick around till the end, and if you enjoy stories that keep you guessing, make sure to subscribe so you never miss the next one. Urgent. Payroll discrepancy and account review. I opened it on my phone, terrible signal and all, and my stomach dropped. Apparently, there was an accounting error in one of my recent projects. A $90,000 mistake. I was being asked to explain it immediately. I called my office in a panic, pacing outside while birds chirped like nothing was wrong. After 20 minutes of arguing and confusion, my boss said, "Rebecca, we're suspending your account access until we sort this out. Take your time off. We'll be in touch." Take your time off. Those words rang in my ears like a cruel joke. When I told Emma and Mark what happened, Emma didn't look surprised. She actually seemed relieved. "Mom," she said quietly, "this is what I wanted you to see. You've been giving that job your life. And for what? They don't even see you." I wanted to yell, to cry, to defend myself, but I couldn't. 'Cause deep down she was right again. That night I couldn't sleep. I stared out at the moonlight hitting the lake and thought about everything I'd worked for. The long nights, the missed birthdays, the way I'd let my career become my identity. Now $90,000 was gone, my reputation might crumble. And yet, a strange peace was starting to seep in. Emma found me outside around midnight, wrapped in a blanket. "You hate me for lying, don't you?" she whispered. I shook my head. "No. I think you just forced me to face the truth before I was ready." And as I looked at her, the daughter I'd always wanted to protect, I realized she might be the one protecting me instead. When we got home from the trip, the calm I'd found in those Colorado woods clashed hard with the chaos waiting for me in Ohio. My inbox was flooded with messages marked urgent. The company had launched a full audit. I'd been temporarily removed from my management position, pending review. Mark told me to stay calm, but my mind went into overdrive. That job wasn't just a paycheck, it was who I was. I'd given it everything. And now, because of one financial error, I was being treated like I didn't matter. The first week back I kept refreshing my email, expecting an update, some explanation. Nothing. Then one afternoon, I got a curt message from my supervisor. "Rebecca, accounting has confirmed an over-budget allocation on your last project. While we don't suspect misconduct, we're restructuring the department. Your role has been dissolved. HR will be in touch about severance." Dissolved. Just like that. I sat at my kitchen table staring at the screen. My chest tightened, but instead of crying I laughed, this hollow, breathy sound that startled even me. Emma came downstairs and froze when she saw me. "Mom." I turned the laptop toward her. "They fired me. Or restructured me. Same thing." She hesitated. "Mom, maybe this is your sign." I wanted to snap at her, tell her she didn't understand. But then she said something that stopped me cold. "You've been talking about starting your own consulting business for years. You have the clients, the skills, the experience. You just never believed you could do it. Maybe losing the job isn't the end. Maybe it's the beginning." That night, I sat up late in the quiet house, thinking. The $90,000 mistake had been partly my fault, an honest error in budget allocation, but in a strange twist, the loss had freed me. It forced me to see that the company I'd sacrificed everything for saw me as replaceable. 2 weeks later I got the official termination notice, along with my severance. After taxes and deductions it wasn't much, but it was enough to keep me afloat for a few months. That's when Emma came to me with another surprise. "I've been saving," she said, handing me a small folder. Inside were documents. A business plan template, local licensing forms, even a draft website. "You always tell me to take risks, Mom. Maybe it's your turn." I didn't know whether to hug her or scold her. But as I looked at those papers, something in me cracked open, that old spark I'd buried under years of duty. Within a month, I'd filed the paperwork for Reframe Consulting, a boutique project management service. I worked out of our spare bedroom, reconnected with old contacts, and slowly built something that felt like mine. And here's the funny part. Without the corporate grind, I started to feel lighter. I took morning walks with Mark, cooked dinner with Emma, even joined a yoga class, something I'd always rolled my eyes at. For the first time in 20 years, I wasn't chasing deadlines. I was chasing peace. But just as things started to settle, an unexpected email arrived. From the same company that had let me go. "Rebecca, we'd like to discuss a consulting contract. We believe your experience could benefit our restructuring process." I stared at the screen, stunned. The same people who cut me loose now wanted to hire me. At double my old hourly rate. I smiled, closed my laptop and whispered, "Not this time, not like before." 6 months later, my life looked nothing like it used to. And for once, that was a good thing. My mornings no longer began with alarms and traffic. Instead, I'd wake up early, make coffee, and sit on the porch watching the sunrise. Sometimes Emma joined me, bundled in a blanket, her hair in a messy bun, sipping tea. Those quiet moments became my favorite part of the day. Small, simple reminders that life didn't need to be frantic to be full. Reframe Consulting had taken off faster than I expected. I landed my first few contracts through referrals. Former co-workers who'd grown tired of corporate politics and wanted independent help managing their projects. Ironically, some of those projects were from my old company. They paid well, treated me with respect, and gave me the one thing I'd been craving for years. Autonomy. The best part. I worked on my own terms. No endless meetings, no office drama. Just focus and freedom. Mark noticed the change first. "You smile more these days," he said one evening as we grilled in the backyard. "You're lighter." Smiled back. "I think I finally stopped measuring my worth by someone else's approval." He nodded. "Took you long enough." Emma laughed at that. Guess lying about the resort wasn't such a terrible idea after all. I threw a dish towel at her, but she was right. That one reckless lie had broken open everything. If she hadn't tricked me into that trip, I'd still be drowning in deadlines, pretending my exhaustion was success. One afternoon, while organizing invoices, I noticed something that made me pause. My total annual income, 6 months in, was about $90,000 less than what I used to make at the corporation. The exact number that had triggered my so-called downfall. And yet I'd never felt richer. That $90,000, that symbol of loss, was the price of my freedom. The cost of reclaiming my time, my peace, and my sense of self. I realized I'd traded money for meaning, and it was the best deal I'd ever made. A few weeks later, Emma announced she'd been accepted into a graduate program in environmental design in Oregon. I hugged her tight, proud beyond words. "You're brave," I told her. "You see the world differently." She smiled. "I learned from you, Mom. You just didn't know it yet." When she left for school, the house felt quieter, but not empty. I'd built something strong, both in my business and within myself. Sometimes I drive past my old office building on my way to meet a client. The lights are still on late at night, just like before. And I think about how that used to be me. Stuck behind those glowing windows, missing sunsets. Now, when I see those same lights, I don't feel envy. Feel gratitude. Because that version of me, the one who thought success meant constant sacrifice, is gone. I learned that losing $90,000 didn't ruin my life. It rebuilt it. And it all started with a lie, one told out of love by a daughter who saw the truth before I did.